You think you know the truth? You can't handle the truth.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
We are 11 weeks into this NFL season. I can't tell you who's good, who's bad, who's a fraud, and who's Super Bowl contenders. We have our week 11 power rankings. Y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to talk about our teams that are dropping out of the top 10. We're going to go through our top 10, starting 10 all the way down to number 1. Before this video starts, I need you to comment your number 1 team down below, starting with the guys that didn't make the cut, that dropped out from last week. The Buffalo Bills, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and my bake show, Baker Mayfield. The Bills, their defense is absolutely fraudulent. This is a team carried by Josh Allen, and when Josh Allen goes out there and doesn't perform to MVP standards, this team is absolutely terrible. The Pittsburgh Steelers, for them to stay in the top 10, they were going to have to be a high-level contender in the AFC, which is the Chargers, and they went out there and put on an absolute stinker for us. And then Bake Show, Bake Sell, Big Baker Mayfield. The offense is just falling off. The injuries are catching up to him. The defense is starting to slack a little bit. I still think, obviously, they're going to win the division. I think they are going to be a competent, competitive team in playoffs. But for right now, we got to drop them out of our top 10, because when I tell you, we have a top 10 full of absolute dogs and demons, starting at number 10. The Kansas City Chiefs. It is hard to keep a team like the Chiefs out of the top 10. You got Patrick Mahomes. This man can go out there and do anything. The run game's beat up. The wide receiver core is finally healthy again. The defense is starting to click. Earlier in the year, my problems with the Chiefs were they weren't doing the things they usually do right. They were turning the ball over. They weren't playing the best defense they could be playing. They were making massive mistakes that typically Chiefs teams don't make. But now it is crunch time for the Chiefs. Mahomes has to play MVP ball. I think this team is better than the Buffalo Bills. I get it. The Buffalo Bills beat them last week, and we just moved the Buffalo Bills out of our top 10. But I think this Kansas City Chiefs team has a lot more potential. I think the wide receiver core is better. I think the run game, and potentially on the same level. James Cook has his weeks where he's an absolute dog. He also has his weeks where he's an absolute terrible running back. Don't shoot the messenger. And then the defense is 10 times better than the Buffalo Bills defense. Yes, the Buffalo Bills always have their number in regular season. I still think the Kansas City Chiefs, off the back of Patrick Mahomes, are a better football team. At number 9, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. If you watch that Philadelphia Eagles and Packers game, I don't have to harp on this too much. The Eagles offense is absolutely awful. Can't get Saquon going. The pass game is terrible. If it wasn't for one amazing pass from Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith, who caught the ball over a defender in the back of the end zone, this Eagles team is potentially looking at a loss to the Green Bay Packers. They have one of the most boring, slow offenses we have seen in the league this year. The defense is good enough to keep them in games. That has been the Philadelphia Eagles staple over the last few years, is Saquon Barkley and an immaculate defense. They make big plays happen when they need them to happen. They kind of feel like the Chiefs of last year. They're going to do all the things right up until the end of the game, where it is going to inevitably win them the game. The Philadelphia Eagles, a massive fall from grace in our rankings, from number 1 all the way to number 1, obviously week 1, 2, 3, something like that, all the way to number 9 now. I think they even fell out at one point, but still, I think one of the top teams in the league. At number 8, the Baltimore Ravens, who are on a 3-game win streak, and that is massive for this team. What is even more massive for this team, fun fact, one of the worst defenses in the league, over the last 4 weeks, have not allowed more than 19 points. And with the return of Lamarvelous Jackson, anything is possible. They are still the favorites to win the division, with the Steelers falling off. Joe Burrow is coming back soon, potentially in 2 weeks. He is off IR. That could be a interesting spotlight to watch in the next few weeks and see if they can potentially make a playoff run. They're going to have to win the division at this point, I believe. So it's going to be a fight between Baltimore, Steelers, and Bengals. We will see who comes out on top, but when you got a guy that can change the game and change the pace and just change the makeup of the team in Lamarvelous Jackson, I think anything is possible. We have Baltimore at number 8. At number 7, we have the Denver Broncos. And when I tell you this defense is on a historic pace, they had the most sacks sitting at 46 through 10 weeks from any team since 1990. This team can rush the passer, and that makes their secondary look even more dominant than it already is. The downfall of the Denver Broncos is this man right here, Bo Nix. He plays, how do I want to say it? Outlaw football. He plays cowboy football. This is a guy that's going to go out there. He's going to be a gunslinger on a team. You don't got to be a gunslinger. The defense is insane. The offense, the run game is immaculate. You need to go out there and make the passes when they need to be made. When you got your read and he's open and you're looking at the guy far downfield, oh, I think I can make that pass. Hit your read, brother. Quit trying to make the big plays. This offense isn't a big play offense. This is an offense. You go out here, you do what you're told, get first downs, get kind of like Indiana Jones over there on the Indianapolis Colts. Just stop turning the ball over. Play better offense. This is a Super Bowl caliber defense getting ruined by a this is a Super Bowl caliber defense getting ruined by a mid-level offense. They have to pick it up. Bo Nix has to play better football. That being said, the defense is so good. They're sitting at number 7 on our top 10 rankings. At number 6, the LA Chargers. This is the most well-coached. This is one of the well-coached teams, if not the most well-coached teams in the NFL. I kind of want to put the 49ers up there because their scheme is insane, but they're kind of like the 49ers of the AFC, right? Your running back goes down, you plug this guy in, starting tackles go down, plug this guy in, best pass rusher on the team goes down, you plug this guy in, and they just keep finding, they play next man up football, and that's what you want to see from a team like this. They still win the division, I think. I think they're going to go out here. The 3 wins they got at the beginning of the season against division opponents is going to do nothing but help them, and I think it's going to propel them, and I still think they're going to win this division over the Denver Broncos off the back of Justin Herbert. When Hampton comes back, I think he's going to be an absolute dog. And I think the sky is the limit for the LA Chargers. At number 5, we have the Detroit Lions. Gibbs may be the most talented running back in the NFL. And there's a lot of talented running backs, don't get me wrong. Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, just to say a few. And I think Gibbs has one step above all of these guys right now. His receiving ability, his running ability, he has a second level to his speed that he unlocks, and it is absolutely ridiculous. Like, there are some guys, one man to beat, they're going to try to put a move, they're going to try to do something to get past him. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to turn on that second level, and he's just going to zoom right past you. It's absolutely insane to watch. Jared Goff, and I don't compliment the Lions often, so y'all take this to heart, is playing the best football out of any quarterback in the league currently, besides maybe Matthew Stafford. This man has 20 touchdowns and 3 interceptions on the year. I tell y'all, winning football, scoring touchdowns, not turning the ball over, you're going to have an amazing team. They have some of the most points scored this year, 44 against, I believe, the Commanders, and that's an NFL team. I don't care how bad the defense is, that is 44 points on a grown man NFL team. The Detroit and the defense has taken an insane step, and you can credit that to their pass rush being there this year. They have such amazing pass rushers this year. I think it gets slept on. The secondary playing hard-nosed football. If they can stay healthy, this is one of the best teams in the league. At number 4, speaking of one of the best teams in the league, the New England Patriots. They have had an easy schedule up this far. I've heard everyone saying, they need to beat someone. They need to beat someone. Oh, they've played the top 5 picks coming into the draft. Well, they go out there and they give one of the top teams in the league, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, belt to ass. And when I tell you Drake May has one of the prettiest passes in the league, it is absolutely insane. I'm talking, of course, Diggs is out there. You're missing your wide receiver too, and another team that can just plug and play and have guys that when you call their number, they're not going to be playmakers every week, but when you call their number, they're going to go out there and they're going to make some plays. They pop the Bucks. They have a quiet top 10 defense. They have a quiet top 10 scoring offense. The New England Patriots are a legit team in the NFL. At number 3, Indiana Jones and the Indianapolis Colts, and have a potential MVP candidate on their team, and not Daniel Jones. What Taylor is doing on this offense is absolutely sick work. Jonathan Taylor is an absolute dog. MVP conversation. Adding Sauce Gardner was one of the best moves by any team this season thus far. They said, all right, we have the run game. We have the quarterback making plays, not turning the ball over. We solidified our wide receiver core. We know who needs to stay and who needs to go. What do we need? We need a dominant, by the way, hard to come by in the NFL now, dominant cornerback that is going to go out here and put a spark on our defense. Carly Ursay, absolute ridiculous owner, by the way, goes out here, says, 2 first-round picks. I'd rather have a Super Bowl ring. Go get me Sauce Gardner. Make a insane move, and he comes in off a week's notice from learning one playbook against another team to learning a playbook against the team they played this week, and only allows 2 catches for 28 yards against Drake London, who, in my eyes, honestly, top 5 wide receiver in this league. The numbers might not be there, but the play is absolutely there. Go watch some film if you don't believe me. Danny Dimes protecting the ball. The Indianapolis Colts are on a Super Bowl potential run. At number 2, the LA Rams. You know how I was talking about Jared Goff was playing some of the best ball as a quarterback in the league? Matthew Stafford is the current best quarterback in the league. Kyron Williams getting overshadowed. Kyron's going to go out there and do what Kyron does. One of the best rushing offenses in the league. Quietly, Kyron Williams putting belt to ass on every team he goes up against. The defense was the problem last year, and the massive step they have taken from last year where they almost popped the reigning, defending Philadelphia Eagles out of the playoffs last year. That defense went from this all the way to this. One of the top defenses in the league, one of the most young defenses in the league. This team has nothing but upside, led off the back of a Hall of Fame quarterback, a Hall of Fame wide receiver, and a top 5 wide receiver in the league. The sky is the limit for the LA Rams. But before we get to number 1, I got to tell y'all, we're not going too far from the number 1 team in the same division. My Seattle Seahawks! The defense flies all over the field. Sam Darnold, potential MVP candidate. The run game getting overshadowed. But what K9 and Charbonnet are doing, you put Charbonnet on that goal line, that ball is getting in. K9 can break runs whenever he needs to. And Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. When I keep saying top 5 wide receivers in this league, he is absolutely leading the race on that one. Give me the number 1 wide receiver in this league, Jackson Smith and Jigma. Give me Rashid Shaheed, who I think is going to have a massive week this week, his second week with the team. Last week, really nothing crazy. It was a short week. Didn't really implement him as much. The sky is the limit for this team, and we are playing our number 2 team, the LA Rams, who I believe we can sweep this year. I believe we're a better team. I believe we're a better defense. I believe we're a better offense. And I think we have what it takes to go win a Super Bowl this year, especially after the belt we just gave the Cardinals. We're riding the high of smoking a division rival 2 times once this year. We're going to make it 2 times against the Rams. The 49ers stole us from one off a lucky pass from Brock Purdy, who gets paid too much money, to a 3rd-string tight end who no one can even name anymore. The best defense in the league, and it is by far a big gap. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our top 10 teams going into Week 11. We have the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, the Chiefs, Eagles, Ravens, Broncos, Chargers, Lions, Patriots, Colts, the LA Rams, and at number 1, my Seattle Seahawks. What I need y'all to do down below in the comments, comment your top 10 teams. Comment who you think I have too high, who you think I have too low, who should be in, and who should be out. Don't forget, like and subscribe.